So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. I'm down here at the wood yard this afternoon preparing for winter. I mean, it's already winter, but it appears we're going to have a cold snap here for at least a couple, 3 weeks, starting the day after tomorrow. So with that being said, I like to get everything fueled up, greased up, proper attachments on each machine for the work that I'm going to be doing, so I don't have to do all that when it's cold and nasty. I can be sitting in a heated cab. When it does get cold and freezes up, which it's going to, we're going to do some tree clearing out by the mini cabin, clean up some brush piles, clean up some down trees. All that's good stuff to do when it's nice and frozen. You don't make a mess. We're also going to cut and split boatloads of firewood. And what's nice is, according to the weather, it's going to be like in the low 20s, you know, which isn't bad weather at all for cutting firewood. It's actually great weather because, once again, there's no mud. So we're going to be doing a lot of that. So I'm down here greasing up the tractor, the skid loader, the excavator. I'm going to put the grapple on the skid loader. I already have the rake on the excavator. And I might even put the rear blade on the tractor. I just took the land plane off. I won't be using it for a while. I have a plow for the front of this tractor, but I'm not going that far yet. Not until Ryan Hall says it's going to snow. That's when I'll make my move. There are tons and tons of weather channels that keep popping up for me because I follow the weather. And none of them are any good except for Ryan Hall. Everybody, it's all hype. You know, they're already talking about some mega snowstorm. I don't see anything coming in the near future, but it is going to be cold enough for snow for an extended period of time, so there's a good chance we'll have a decent snowfall. I know down at the cabin, it always snows down there. It's weird. 2.5 hours south from here, but get a lot of snow down there. It's all elevation, just the way the weather goes, but I don't know why. It's always snowy down there, even when it's not up here. So that's what I'm doing right now. I got one grease fitting on this tractor that's not taking grease. I have to get that taken care of because that'll just drive me crazy. But I got the skid loader all ready to go, minus the grapple. Fuel it up, then on to the excavator. Skid loader doesn't take long at all to grease it and get it ready to go. Excavator, there's a lot of fittings on that. There's an awful lot. So there's just two things that kind of bother me about this skid loader. Number one, it takes fuel slow. Where you fill it up is kind of flat going in, and if you pump the fuel too fast, it'll spill out. And I'm not sure how big the tank is. It's pretty good size, so it takes a while to fuel it up. That's the first thing that I don't like. It's not near as bad as some of the trucks I used to drive, work trucks, especially, yeah, like when I was a blaster, would have like F350s with a little powder box on the back, and even some dump trucks, F350s, it was like flat going into it. I would carry a block of wood when I'd go to get gas, and I'd put it out and drive up on that block of wood to get the truck leaning over so it would take gas. The other thing that's bothering me, this is leaking just a little bit, and I can't see where, but I can get this fixed. I'll get some silicone and go all around it. Not a lot, but when you get a little bit of snow on here, and then you got the heater running in there, you'll start getting a few drips on your leg. So I need to get that fixed. So the So the sun comes out for like 2 to 3 minutes and then goes behind a cloud. Then it'll sprinkle for just a little bit. It's one of those kind of days. But today's video is just a little bit of maintenance, preparing. And this is your reminder if you live in the Northeast. Actually, I think it's going to get cold even down south. So it's good to take an afternoon and just get everything ready, at least for me. I don't like, because you know what happens. You know what I mean? If it's 15 degrees out and you need a machine, you're probably not going to go over it as well as you would if it is 45 degrees like it is today. So I try to take care of all this kind of stuff now, and then everything will be just ready to rip and tear whenever I'm ready. Plus no frozen couplers on a day like today. This is important right here. That little thing right there holds those hoses in place, and you don't have to worry about catching them on your track or whatever. This was extra. It did not come with the machine. The holes were there for it. It wasn't that much money, but I had to get this when I started running the grapple, which is the Virnig V60. That's an 84-inch grapple, and that thing is an amazing attachment. I mean, that machine, that's around 12,000 pounds. So you've got a lot of force behind this thing, and I have pushed trees over, rooted stumps out. I've carried brush piles with this thing. You can't even see the skid loader because the pile's so big in front of it. It's a really, really great attachment for clearing land. I don't use this too much for just like moving logs around the wood yard or anything like that, because the machine kind of tears things up. But if you really want to do some work, you feel like you're indestructible when you got that grapple on this machine. It's just a beast. So tractor and skid loader ready to go. Next up, excavator. Oh, preheating. Yeah, I'm real low on fuel in this. This machine, this is the Dash 5. It's pretty fuel efficient, but I have noticed, I think it uses a little bit more fuel than the Dash 4. Maybe it's all in my head, but I think this one uses a little more fuel. This one has the beeper on it. It's beeping inside the cab, and as it gets closer to full, it speeds up. Once it's a solid beep, no brakes, it's full. But you can actually see or hear this one pretty well. I got the excavator all ready to go, skid loader and tractor. That one grease fitting that was giving me fits on the tractor, I got it to take grease. I am ready for the cold weather. Bring it on. I think when I head back up to the building, I'll take some more firewood up and should be good to go. But we had a power outage just a little bit ago. It was kind of weird. Last night we had some incredibly high winds. I mean, for hours, right? There's limbs down all over the place. I haven't been out in the woods. I'm sure there's trees down. But we made it through all of that last night. And today, during the middle of the day, the power just went out. Levi called it in, and he got a text message back saying they expect it to be restored by 11 p.m. tomorrow night. I thought, okay. we'll have to kind of get ready for that. And then a half hour later, the power came on. But we had lights and everything in the game room. I've got that Jackery, the 5000, and the transfer switch, which works fantastic. That whole side of the building, the water pump, all the lights, all the outlets, the refrigerator, runs all that stuff, the bathroom, plus the wood heat. So it was pretty cool. I was kind of excited, actually. I need to get something set up like that. I don't know, for in the house, I don't know. We've got all our freezers over in the house, one in the building. They last a long time, and I could always run a generator on and off as needed for the freezers. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out, but power's back on. All right, got the rear blade on the tractor. I think I am done down here. I think I am. So you're going to see this video on New Year's Eve, early, 8 o'clock in the morning. But we will have fire starter available tonight at 6 p.m. We were going to put it on at midnight, but I feel confident that we have enough to last for a while. We'll see what happens. Last time it sold out in about 3 hours, but we have a lot more available. And I think we were selling so much because of the Christmas rush. You know, people are buying it for gifts or whatever. But yeah, New Year's Eve, tomorrow. Each year, they go faster than the year before, it seems. It really does. New Year's resolutions, I'm not really too big into that. I got a couple, you know, nothing too crazy. One that I need to do, I need to start going to bed at a more reasonable time. What happens is, as soon as it gets dark, I can't keep my eyes open. I mean, I could go to bed right then. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And that lasts like half hour, 45 minutes. I push through that and I get like a second wind. Last night I was bagging fire starter till about 9:30, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to bed. Well, one of you guys mentioned a movie, Carry On, which was actually pretty good on Netflix. So I put that on. Next thing I know, 11:30 last night, up at 4:45 this morning. That doesn't cut it anymore. So I need to just make sure I go to bed, because no matter what, I get up early. And if I don't, yeah, that's one of them. I need to just set a time, go to sleep, at least for the winter months. Summer, it is completely different. When it doesn't get dark till 9 o'clock, I'm good to go. It's this time of year, it's kind of rough. Other thing I want to talk about, the new year coming up is going to be interesting. It is. This AI thing, I don't know how this is all going to play out with all social media, but I have been noticing a trend lately. And some people don't even realize they're being duped, or should I say played. What happens is there's people that take other people's content, and it could be anything. And you'll see these videos, especially like on Instagram or TikTok. TikTok is a disaster. I don't go there, but I've seen videos there before. An example would be this. There'll be a video of someone, let's say, pouring concrete. Unlike concrete with the hosses, they'll be doing something wrong, and it's obvious that they're doing something wrong. The concrete coming out of the hose, you know, they'll be using a pumper. It looks like water. There's no rebar, and there will be a voiceover, and the voice sounds kind of strange, saying this is like the proper way to pour concrete, and they'll go through the whole thing step by step, and it's all wrong, but they'll come across as saying this is the right way to do it. And then you read the comments, there will be thousands of comments of people telling them, no, that's not the right way, here's why. And then people will be fighting in the comments, just back and forth, a bunch of nonsense. And it's all just to get people to do that, to get mad and to argue with one another and tell people they don't know what they're doing. And same with like tree falling videos. There will be someone doesn't know what they're doing or whatever, and you'll see this voiceover thing, you'll hear it and saying this is a proper way to do this or that, and then everybody starts arguing, and they just do it for clicks and the ad revenue. You know what I mean? And so they get people fighting with one another, arguing about everything, and they make out. You know what I mean? And they're not even the ones that do the videos. They just take them from someone else, load it into this thing. It's AI generated voiceover explaining the whole process. And they don't care what they put out there, whether it's good or bad. They just get everybody all worked up, and it's just a bunch of nonsense. So I don't know how that's going to affect everything. Maybe I'll start off each video, this is the real mic. I am not AI generated. I'm not into that stuff at all. Who knows? It could be the demise. I don't know. I think you'll see a wave of that kind of stuff taken off, but then people are just going to get tired of it and figure it out. And I think they're going to be looking more towards real people doing real things. I think. I have no idea, but that's just my opinion. The whole YouTube thing, though, has changed over the years quite a bit, both good and bad. It's good for some channels, bad for others, good for some viewers, bad for others. I don't know. The days, though, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. The days of just doing like a how-to video or how to use this tractor attachment, they're over. Those days are over. That stuff has just been beat to death. I've brought it up about like the IBC totes or whatever. There are thousands of videos on IBC totes for firewood. And there's so many channels now, it just it waters it all down. And then you've got to really search for the one that you want, or like a good video that you can learn something from. What I have found, I try to offer just little things that I know. I don't know a lot, but I try to offer little tips on running equipment, or, just like the other day I did a video. I was talking about ethanol-free gas, just a whole bunch of little things just kind of dropped in. But basically my videos are just doing what we do here on our property or down at the cabin in West Virginia, with a little bit of information scattered throughout the video. That's what I try to do. It seems to be working for us, but if I put a video up, how to use a box blade on a tractor or some attachment, nobody's going to watch it because everyone's seen that stuff 1,000 times. You know what I mean? And unless it's something really unique, those videos will still do well, but it has to be something really unique. And there's no way you can do videos like that over and over again. You know what I mean? So if you have something unique, it could be a how-to or demonstrating something new. And like I said, these are just all my opinions. All channels operate differently. Another thing, I was watching a couple weeks ago now, my buddy Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and he just had like a sit-down talk video with his wife, and he said some of the worst advice he ever got for his channel was to stay in your lane, and that was the worst advice I ever got as well. People, I started off doing a lot of firewood. We still do a lot of firewood. I just don't film all the firewood stuff. It gets old. I don't like filming it, and unless it's something new, or you bounce in and out of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not going to make a 20-minute video on splitting firewood that you have seen 100 times before. But I remember when I started, people always wanted in the comments too. They would tell you, oh, you need to stick to just doing firewood. I don't like this or I don't like that. You can't do that. You can't listen to people. You have to, what I have done, I'm all over the place. And that's the way my mind works, and that's the way my life works. You know what I mean? I may be down here today doing maintenance on equipment. Tomorrow, I may be setting up some new trail cameras down at the cabin. The next day, I might be working on the shed out in the clearing. Next day, I could be knocking down some trees or moving dirt or getting ready for a new building. You know, we've been talking about that. I need to find the right place for a bigger building. I mean, a full-blown building. It's not going to be like our one up here. You know, we got all the woodwork and stuff on the inside. It's going to be just bare bones just for work and stuff. I'm working through all that. So my point is, my videos are kind of all over the place. Some people don't like that. Some people just want to watch, you know, a firewood video, which is fine, but I'm not going to do every video on firewood. I'm not going to do every video on running the sawmill. I'm going to be kind of all over the place, which is the way I've always been. You know, I've said this before, and it's the truth. In school, certain subjects that interest me, I was all in. If it does not interest me, I don't care. I probably should have cared more, but I just don't care. I can't focus on things that don't interest me. If it interests me, I'm all in. And that's just the way I am. It's kind of the way I run our channel as well. Just random stuff all over the place with little bits of information sprinkled throughout. And I've been doing this long enough. We have a very loyal, great group of people, a nice community here that watch our videos that are into the same types of things we are. Subscribers, that number it matters. I always tell you guys to hit the subscribe button and double check that you are still subscribed. But what matters is that people watch the videos, and then that's what makes me keep making videos. I see a lot of channels that are, 800,000, 1 million subscribers, but only 10 or 15,000 views in a video. And a lot of that is because, my opinion, they stayed in their lane and keep trying to do the same thing over and over again. Very seldom, I'd say about 1 out of every 10 videos that I do is planned, to be honest. Like, I don't have a schedule saying Thursday I'm going to publish a video on this or on this tool or on this piece of equipment. I just make videos doing what I'm doing when I'm doing it. If I get a new piece of equipment, it's just however that happens, when it happens, that's when you'll see it. So, I don't know. I like doing it this way. Otherwise, I would get bored if I was doing the same thing every day, and so would you. But the AI thing, I'm not saying it's a flash in the pan by any means. You know what I mean? It's going to change a lot of things, but I think people are going to be looking for real people doing real things, and I think they'll figure it out. I do. So anyway, I have been rambling on long enough. Don't forget, Firestarter will be available tonight at 6 p.m. Probably won't have it ready again until February, because that's the other thing. As scattered as, as random as I do things, there is always a plan, believe me. And like right now, I'm planning for cold weather for 2 to 3 weeks at least, which means tree clearing, firewooding, maybe even some dirt moving. Anything like that is what I'll be doing when it snows or when it's cold. You know what I mean? So I have that in the back of my head, which is why I'm down here today doing all this. So in other words, we won't be getting any more Firestarter ready until February. That's something really nice, like to do when the weather's bad or in the evenings or early in the morning. I like that kind of stuff. Always have something to do. I don't know I don't ever remember a time, to tell you the truth, where like I just sat there and said, I have nothing to do today. I have a million different things that I can do at any given time. And I like it that way. I do. I like to stay busy. But I think that's about it for today's video. Like I said, this is not AI generated. This is really me. And subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. Share these videos with your friends. All the things that I should be saying more often, and I don't, except for when I remember. Appreciate y'all being here. I really do. We have a wonderful community here. We do. You can just see it by reading through the comments. I love when I publish a video first thing in the morning. I'll spend the first half hour, everybody wishing each other, good morning from here, from there, and how are things going. And it's a good way for me to start the day and for you as well. And I appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one.